Hello there. It's been a while since I've done a video, so I'm gonna chuck a couple in quick succession. First one, this one is a little bit of a rant because it's winding me up something rotten. The amount of people in this industry, the vape industry, that are effectively ruining it, not just for themselves but for the rest of us. Certainly there's a chance they're going to ruin it. Where I come from, County Durham in the northeast of England, a vape shop owner, who I could name and shame because it is in the public domain, this information, a vape shop owner has been fined £600 for selling an e-cigarette with e-liquid to a 12-year-old. Now, this is just the sort of thing that anti-vaping campaigners and politicians need to jump on, and it gives them an excuse to legislate further against the vaping industry. So why do it? You know, now not only that, but the integrity of the person that sold them the e-cigarette is shot to hell anyway, because he sold them a bloody to a 12-year-old who, and this vape shop owner had already been warned because he'd been caught by a PCSO with children in his shop using e-cigarettes in school uniform. Now all this does is it gives them excuses after excuses to legislate further against the vaping industry. And on top of that, not only is this idiot, his integrity totally shot to hell anyway, and hopefully soon he'll end up going bust, but he sold this underage person, and I've seen the transcript, and he asked the child had he ever smoked used an e-cigarette before. The child said no, but my friends have. So this shop owner proceeded to sell the person, the child, a Smock Vape Pen 22. Now, on what planet do you sell not only an e-cigarette to a child and harm the reputation of the vaping industry, but on top of that sell somebody who's never used an e-cigarette before a straight to lung bit of kit, where he also sold them e-liquid that contains nicotine. So this poor kid, if he'd gone out and used it, and luckily in this instance it was a plant by trading standards, so he didn't actually use it, but had he gone ahead and used it, even with a little bit of nicotine in, let's say it was 3 milligram nicotine, the transcript isn't clear, but let's just say it's 3, and this kid gets a lung full of this, he's going to blow his head off. You know, what the hell's the matter with people? I might have kind of, you know, had a little bit of sympathy for the shop owner if he'd sold nicotine-free liquid, but he didn't. He sold them a liquid with nicotine in. So, you know, now he's getting a £600 fine. Personally, I think it should have been 3 times that, because he'd already been warned before in writing not to sell e-cigarettes to underage, to anybody underage. So, you know, this whole idea that the vaping industry, and I've done a write-up on this before and a little bit of a blog on this before about the vaping industry itself being its own worst enemy, and is it about to implode because, you know, there are elements within the vaping industry that attract kids and deliberately set out to attract kids. You know, and I'm talking about people like video bloggers, reviewers and that, who do the review to rap music in the background, and they've got their baseball cap on back to front, and they've got bling, and you know, and the the whole review, to me, is aimed at kids. They try to make themselves look super cool and try to make themselves look like gangster rappers and this sort of thing. And it's this whole attitude within the industry that gives politicians excuses. And then you've got shops being caught selling e-cigarettes to underage users. Now, don't get me wrong, there are plenty of shops caught, probably on a daily basis, selling tobacco cigarettes to underage kids, and that's been going on as long as I'm 51. And my mates were buying cigarettes when I was 12, 13, 14 years old, so that's been going on for decades. However, the tobacco and cigarette industry has never been under the scrutiny that the vaping industry is constantly under. Now, either these shops are not making enough money and they're so desperate for business they'll sell to anybody, or they just don't give a damn. My belief is it's the latter. They don't give a damn. And they're only shooting themselves in the foot, because if the politicians get hold of it and tighten up on legislation, it's going to make it harder for all of us to make money. Forget the ethics and the morals of selling to underage users. We've got to be sensible about this, because if we give them an excuse, they will tighten up, and we shouldn't be giving anybody any excuses. And nobody should be selling e-cigarettes to 12, 13 and 14 year olds. There's no need for it. I get the odd one coming in my shop and say, but they're not after e-cigarettes. They want to produce clouds because they've seen some video of somebody doing tricks. So they want to produce clouds, and I just tell them to come back when they're 18 years old and we'll have a conversation about it. But I don't get why, for a quick £30 sale, a shop owner feels the need to A, break the law, and B, give the whole industry a bad reputation. What you don't see in the newspaper is when a corner shop owner is caught selling tobacco cigarettes to underage users, but a vaping shop does it, and it's headline news in the local newspapers. So why do it? It's ridiculous. And all this guy's, he's getting a £600 fine. I very much doubt whether he's sold £600 worth of made £600 profit selling to underage users, because certainly in my experience they're few and far between. In terms of those trying to buy it. So why do it? It's ridiculous. Stop being an idiot. Do things professionally. Have some integrity about you. Don't sell to underage users, and stop giving the vaping industry a bad name. Rant over. Thank you very much.